Good morning, Rabbi. We were asked by one of the local rabbis, is it allowed to eat unfiltered honey? What's the question? The question is that since the honey is not filtered, there may be some parts of the bees' bodies which are left over in there, and the bees are not kosher. So the question is, are we allowed to have such a honey since there may be some bee parts in there? So the truth is that we do find the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Pei Aleph in Yordea, it says over there that bees' honey is allowed to eat. What does that mean? That it doesn't differentiate between filtered honey or unfiltered honey. So according to that, it's talking about every type of honey, whatever it is. So it tells you over there that it's allowed to eat bees' honey, and the reason is because number one, there may be some body parts left over, as we said, right? Some legs over there. But the truth is that even those legs, if they are left over, nevertheless, we're still allowed to eat it. And also, even if they cook that honey, if they boil it to pasteurize it, whatever it is, nevertheless, even though the taste of those body parts may go into the honey, that also is allowed to have. Nevertheless, what's the reason why? The reason is because number one, the taste of the body parts, it's called noten tam nifgam. What does that mean? It tells you Shulchan Aruch and Yoredea that something which gives the taste, but it gives a taste which is harmful to the food, it doesn't improve the taste. It makes the taste even worse, right? So therefore, things like this, the taste of those objects which actually damage the taste of the food, even though they do give a taste to the food, but since the taste is harmful and damaging to the food, so therefore that kind of taste is not forbidden by the Torah, it's permitted. So therefore there's no problem with the taste. What about the issue of the body parts? So it says, if you look in the Beit Yosef, he writes over there in Siman Pei Aleph in Yordea, he writes that in the name of Rabbeinu Tam, and also the Rosh, and also several other Rishonim, that the body parts which are left over in the honey, like legs for instance, right? It's talking about legs over there. Anyway, those legs are kosher. What's the reason why? How are they kosher? They come from a bee. A bee's not a kosher animal. So the answer is because it says, Rabbeinu Tam says that it's a bone. The leg of the bee is like a bone. What does that mean? It has no flesh, has no meat there on the leg. So the rule is that even if you take a bone from a non-kosher animal, like a donkey for instance, or any other animal, right, the bones are kosher. What does that mean? Only the flesh of the animal is not kosher, but the bones, they are kosher. So therefore, this is the reason why it says in Beit Yosef explains that even if we do have legs of the bees left over in there, we still don't have a problem. Why is that? Because those legs are considered to be like bones. So therefore, this is the reason why the Shulchan Aruch says that it's allowed to have uh, bee honey, and this also could include honey which is not filtered, because it doesn't differentiate over there between filtered honey and not filtered honey. So therefore, it implies that it's talking about every type of honey. Nevertheless, we do find in some of the Achronim, the later authorities, that were actually stringent regarding that. Where do we find this? In the Pri Chadash, also in the Kaf HaChaim, and also in the Ber Hetev, we find that there were some poskim who were machmir, and they also wrote to be machmir, to be stringent, not to eat unfiltered honey. What's the reason why? Because of those legs which are left over, the body parts which are left over in the honey. But nevertheless, the truth is, Rabbatai, Shulchan Aruch, it is allowed to eat. So Achronim, these later authorities brought down, it's not a matter of halakha, it's a matter of stringency, it's a matter of hasidut. So therefore, we don't really have to uh, be choshesh, we don't have to be concerned for their opinion, since the truth is, right, in the Shulchan Aruch, it does allow to eat this kind of honey, even though it's unfiltered. So there's also another interesting thing is that we found out that the way they make nowadays unfiltered honey is not exactly the way it was made before. What does that mean? That even though they don't filter it with some kind of a cloth medium, but they do use a strainer. They strain it, right? So what does that mean? The strainer will remove any of the body parts anyway. Most of the body parts will be removed by that. What does that mean? That the body parts are usually not that small that they're going to pass through a strainer. So therefore, it's not exactly the same as just totally unfiltered honey. It is filtered in a strainer somewhat. It's strained. So therefore, the truth is that it's very unlikely there's going to be body parts left over there. But just in case that there is, right, as we said, number one, if it's a matter of the legs and things which are similar to the legs, like the wings also are not flesh. They're also like a type of bone. It's like a cartilage, whatever. So those things, as we said, anyway, they're kosher. It's not really a problem. But even if you had the small chance that something was left over in there, like some small pieces of legs or some small, very, very tiny pieces of wings, nevertheless, it still would not be a problem. What's the reason why? It's because it gets nullified in 60th b'shishim, batil b'shishim. Why would it get nullified in shishim? Since it's not a whole body, it's only a part of a body, and it's not really detectable. You can't really see it in the honey. If you look inside the honey, you're not going to see like a real a body part over there. You may see something there, some dots, whatever, but you're not really going to see anything which looks like a body part or anything like that. It's not really identifiable. So once it's not identifiable, it does get batal b'shishim, it does get nullified, and also there's other types of things which are left over there, which they all look pretty much the same. You can't really tell what it is, so therefore you don't even know that it's coming from a wing or something like that, or a bone, or a leg, like which is considered to be like a bone. So therefore, Rabbatai, the bottom line is that according to the Shulchan Aruch, according to Maran Bet Yosef, it is allowed to have unfiltered honey, especially in our times, since it's also strained, the honey that we have today, the unfiltered honey. It's not filtered through a cloth, but it is strained. So therefore, according to the halacha, it is allowed to buy unfiltered honey, whoever likes to eat that. But the truth is, right, that as we said, the best thing, if you want to go according to all opinions, is to buy filtered honey, even though they say that there are some health benefits to buy unfiltered honey. But a person who wants to be a Baal Nefesh, somebody who wants to be Machmir, somebody who wants to be stringent, so what you should do is to buy filtered honey. In this way, there won't be any questions whatsoever. But the truth is, Rabbatai, if a person wants to buy unfiltered honey for some reason, for health reasons or whatever, he definitely can do that. According to halacha, it's fine as we said, and there's certainly more than what to rely on. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Chazak u'baruch.